decided I'm going to start reviewing some series that I find are worth reviewing, and the ones that I watch. And so the first one is going to be the newest Wet Hot American Summer series. I binged it this morning because I knew it was coming to Netflix, but I forgot the date when, and I was like, oh, I know it's coming sometime this week. And so I checked, and all 8 episodes were on, and I was like, you know what? I have nothing to do today. My girlfriend's coming over tomorrow. I'm just going to binge this and get it over with now. And really, I was dreading it. I really was, because let's just say, the Wet Hot American Summer series, it's a guilty pleasure in my opinion. You look at it and it's not, the best series or movie. They're guilty pleasures. They're ones that know they're bad, but they're enjoyable as hell. And so honestly, this actually, I wouldn't say it's a guilty pleasure. It kind of is, but I think it's decent. And so let's kind of talk about it. So first, I just want to start off by reading the cast. All 8 episodes has this huge cast. It's like the Avengers Infinity War of Netflix. So let's read who's in this. And if I mispronounce some names, it's not because I'm doing it on purpose. It's because I honestly don't know how to say the person's name. So there's Elizabeth Banks, Michael Ian Black. Oh, let me just add, these are all the main characters. The main characters. So let me restart. Elizabeth Banks, Michael Ian Black, Janine Garlafo. I think that's definitely wrong. Nina Hellman, Joe Latruglio, Ken Marino, A.D. Miles, Margaret Moria something another, Zach Orth, Amy Poehler, Marisa Ryan, Michael Showalter, Sarah Burns, Alyssa Milano, Adam Scott, Lake Bell, H.G. John Benjamin, Skylar Gizondo, Paul Rudd. You get the point. It's a bunch of people. I probably mispronounced so many of those names wrong. But you get the point. It's a huge cast. Like, literally probably over 30 people. If you go watch the trailer, just go watch the trailer for this series. There's all the main characters. It's like literally 2 minutes of just main characters. Oh, and Kristen Wiig's in that. Okay. But yeah, let's get into depth about this now, talking depth. So let's start with the things I liked about this season. First off, they're like 26 to 30 minutes long. I mean, look, I like TV shows and movies as much as the next person, but usually when I'm watching a Netflix TV show especially, I don't want them to be like an hour long. I mean, yes, there's the exception with some of the Marvel Netflix TV shows. I think Daredevil and Jessica Jones deserve to be an hour long. Luke Cage, definitely not. Don't even get me started on Luke Cage. I'm not even bothering to watch Iron Fist. But I will eventually. But that's the thing I liked about this new Wet Hot American Summer season, and the first one too, was that they were only like half an hour long, and so it didn't really feel like a huge pressure, to sit down and devote myself to it. Hopefully when they were writing this, they were like, yeah, let's just make this a show someone can watch and finish before lunchtime. And so that's what I really liked. That's one of the things I really liked about this. I also like the chemistry. The cast, they definitely have a chemistry, and you see it. They're all friends. You definitely see that because of the way they act on screen with each other. And even there's a documentary, if you haven't seen that, I think that's the best out of the whole entire series. But there's a documentary, it's called Hurricane of Fun. I'm not sure if it's still on Netflix, but if you can find it, watch it, because it definitely shows, all these people in real life, even the characters they play, they all have something in common. And it works well, and that's definitely what this show did well this season, I think. Especially better than the first season, I think. There's this really funny story arc with Paul Rudd and the Skylar Gizmondo kid or whatever. I'm just going to call him the kid from Vacation, because that's where I know him from. He was the older brother in Vacation, but there's this cool rivalry between Paul Rudd and this kid, because like when Paul Rudd was at Camp Firewood, he was the coolest guy at camp, but now that he's gone, this Vacation kid is the coolest guy at camp, and he's kind of an a-hole. And so like the rivalry between those two in the show is just super funny. And I don't know, I just died laughing when I saw it in the trailer, and when I saw it in the actual show, it's so funny. I mean, yeah, they did actually, to be honest, they did give away most of the funniest parts in the whole entire show in the trailer of that scene, of those like rivalry scenes, but there's more to it, and it's really funny actually. I'd say the one thing I wish was that they did it a bit longer, because they really only use it for like 5 minutes in the second episode, and then like in the 5th episode, that's when they do that whole story arc of like who's cooler. I mean, it would have been, and then the kid just disappears. That's not a spoiler alert, but he just never really shows up again after that. And so I don't know, it would have been cool, to have more of a like rivalry more than there actually was between those two. But I liked it. It was funny. I think where the season falters is just where everyone knew it was going to falter. It's over the top. Like, I mean, I don't really want to spoil it for you because, like I said, you could literally finish. It took me like 2 hours to finish the whole entire series, and it's 8 episodes. So I'm not really gonna spoil this for you because you could literally just listen to this and then pull out your phone or go onto your TV or computer and literally just watch the show, and you could be done before like midnight, or 11 o'clock. But yeah, it's over the top. It really is. I mean, even I thought the movie was a bit over the top with, the world coming to an end or whatever. And even the first season, if you've seen the first season, you know how over the top that is, where it's kind of like, I get they're trying to be funny, but that just doesn't really feel realistic. And this season really plays upon that even more with one story arc that involves presidents, and I was just like, I get it. You're trying to be funny and you're trying to show everything revolves around this camp, but like the way they did it with that story arc with the presidents, I just didn't really find it, that intriguing. And it was just kind of like, I'd rather just stick to like the main guys that we want to see. I don't really want to see new characters that don't even really feel like they fit in to have like 8 episodes dedicated to them, like just minor story arcs. I didn't really care for that element to it. But besides that, I don't know. I just don't want to spoil it for you because, like I'm saying, there's all this over-the-top stuff that I just didn't really enjoy. But then there's the heartfelt stuff that you feel from the first movie with those characters. They're just like, oh, I really enjoy that. Because the movie's been like, I don't remember when it came out. Maybe early 2000s? I don't know. But I don't know. Just seeing these characters again, I rather would have wanted to have more. That was a really confusing sentence. To have more story arc stuff focused on them, not the over the top dramatic crap. Am I saying this season's bad? No, definitely not. I actually think it's better than the first season we had because that one it just felt like because that was supposed to be before the movie even took place, and so all the actors are like 40 years old now. But when they made the actual movie, they were like 19 and stuff. And so for them trying to be portraying when they were 19 just didn't really make sense, even before the actual movie took place. But now that it's 10 years later, it's more funny because you're like, oh yeah, they're all like 50, 40 years old, and they're like, yeah, I'm 26 and I still have my whole life ahead of me. I can do whatever I want, I'm 26. Oh, that's cool, I'm 23. And like they all look like they're 40. I thought that was pretty funny. And it felt more natural, I guess. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the show literally only took me like 2 hours, 2.5 hours to finish. So after you go listen to this, unless you've already watched the show and you're listening to this review right now, congrats for finishing it. But if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. I think, it's worth your time. I mean, it's definitely a step up from the first season, which the first season wasn't the worst, but like I said, it was a guilty pleasure. I mean, I know it's bad. It is, but it was enjoyable. But this season actually was a step above a guilty pleasure. It was like, oh yeah, it was actually pretty enjoyable. Thank you all so much for listening. I'm going to start doing more series reviews. I think my next is going to be The Defenders. I'm excited for that. That one will take me more time to watch, though, but I'll try and get it out as fast as I can whenever it comes out. But yeah, thank you all so much for listening. If you've liked what you listened to on here and you want to listen to more, click, and go subscribe. I would really appreciate it. All the links to my social medias are down below. Other than that, this has been A Talk in Depth.